Alright everybody, so we're going to install the Prime MR2 eccentric T-top guides. These little guides in there, in theory, are a bit worn out, so it's not pressing the glass down hard enough. What we're gonna do is try to pop these damn things out. Come on, focus. Stock one. And then it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but the hole is a bit offset to try to press down the glass more. Alright. Definitely sitting a lot more flush. Sick. Hopefully this $10 fix is an actual fix. Definitely looks like it's promising. So this is all the parts I have so far for the MR2 engine swap. Not much here, but we're going with the Link ECU. Going to be using the Monsoon. Love Link ECU. This will be my fourth one. Always use the Works fuel pumps in my cars. They do the job. Recently I've been using these on my cars too. So this is a remote mounted idle speed control valve, whatever you want to call it. Got to use a tack adapter to make the tack work in the car with the engine swap. We're going with the Link boost controller. Used those before, they work good. AEM wideband. Brand new flywheel bolts and pressure plate bolts. This is just some random A-pillar pod because I'm going to be having boost and wideband per usual on my cars. Random hose clamps. Nothing exciting. Check this out. Brand new OEM ashtray. Whew, I almost don't want to even put it in. But they still sold it, so I figured I would buy it. It does work one day. Brand new OEM water outlet gasket. Throw that in. We went with an OEM flywheel, stock weight. Not a fan of lightweight flywheels, especially when you do like a slightly aggressive clutch. I feel like it just makes them chatter, and I don't know. I like the stock weight. The pros and cons of getting the lightweight. It's not worth it for me. Usually the lightweights are cheaper too, and they're made out of aluminum, so they just don't last long. You want a stock steel flywheel. And this is the South Bend clutch. What this is a hybrid clutch, so it uses a turbo pressure plate and a NA MR2 clutch disc. So it's kind of like a mix of turbo and NA to get it working. You can't just get a turbo clutch and use a NA trans. It won't work. The splines are all different. I did have a lot of other parts that are already installed. The downpipe and stuff, and the whole engine reseal kit that I did. For boost gauge, I just went with another cheap Amazon one. Don't need a fancy boost gauge. And I use that same one on the RAV4, it works good. Some new hardware and studs and stuff. I had a couple studs that were stripped out. And this is just wire loom to make stuff look cleaner. I'm trying to make wiring look cleaner. This is the last seal I I haven't done is the rear main seal. You can't really do that until, you know, you're off the engine stand, doing the clutch and all that. So we're gonna attempt to convert the fuel system feed line into AN from the fuel filter to the fuel rail. Alright, so we got our fitting on the fuel filter. We got the OEM 3S GTE fuel line, fuel rail fitting with the dampener on it, taken off. And we got the AN fitting right on the fuel rail. There. So now we just need to make our fuel line. I'm kind of just gonna gauge off of how far the fuel filter is. I haven't really looked in here much. Where is it? It's gotta be over here somewhere. Down there. It sits all the way down there. You can barely, you can't even, it's not even gonna focus. Anyways, it's buried all the way the heck down there. Gonna throw this in. I was waiting to put that in till I had this modified. Keep them alive. Alright, so we got the stock boost control stuff deleted. Now it's not all super busy over here. Kind of a crazy setup. This is from a Caldina, and I guess it was based off wheel speed or vehicle speed and like temperature and stuff. I'm not really completely sure how it works, but basically at times it would allow you to have more boost than 8 psi. And there's the fresh timing belt, tensioner, water pump, idlers, cam seals, crank seal, even did the oil pump seal, did the valve cover, even got a new PCV and grommet. It's kind of cool, it has a little cover for it. Still a little bit of coolant in there. Still had the factory thermostat in there. This is kind of crazy. Alright, let's do something satisfying. Mine's in pretty good shape, but there's 2 cracks on it. Man. Oh, I already put some fingerprints on it. Damn. Ooh. If anyone's missing one and needs it, free. Alright, we got that fuel line finished up, did a straight. That's gonna go onto the fuel filter. And then a little 45 on the other end, that's gonna go to the fuel rail. Save yourself 50, 60 bucks making it yourself versus getting the Prime MR2 swap fuel line. Also just plumbed up the Link boost controller, so the front port here is going to go to a boost reference, preferably right to the compressor housing, and then the left side goes straight to the actuator. And then the third port here, you can have it vent to atmosphere, or if you have a wastegate that has a second nipple just like this one, you could vent it to the top of the dome to add even more boost, but I don't need that much pressure boost, so we are just gonna run it traditionally, and this will allow you to run twice the boost as your spring pressure. So this is a 8 psi spring, maxed out boost controller will allow you to obviously run 16 pounds. I'm going to be running stock-ish pressure, 12 to 14 pounds. So yeah, these cars had that factory boost controller mounted in a similar location, but it was kind of just an on or off, and I want more accurate closed loop boost control for colder days. Don't want any boost spikes or anything. It's just more accurate to have an actual controller versus just a switch between 8 psi and 14 psi. Alright, so you guys that are wanting to run the stock idle air control valve, it's pretty common for them to be stuck, so you'll either have a very low idle or rough cold starts, or you're going to have an extremely high idle all the time. These IAC valves, they just get really stuck from the engine sitting at either the depot or just, overtime wear. You can get a 2002 1.7 liter Honda Civic IAC valve. The solenoid on it is the same, however, the body is slightly different. The coolant ports are, straight. The 3S GT ones are straight out off to the side rather than straight down. So all you got to do is just swap over this solenoid, and it bolts right up to the 3S GTE body, and this will fix your issue if your solenoid is bad. However, most of the time the internals are just stuck, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. Alright, so there's going to be two very strange bits. It's a 5-star bit. You can get them on Amazon. What you're going to need to get is a TS20. Pull the solenoid right off, and this is like a magnetic pickup that spins this little valve here, and mine is completely stuck. It needs to spin super freely. I just broke it free there, but if it's any bit stuck, a magnet is just not gonna spin it. So yeah, super easy fix. You can pull that thing right out of there, get it all cleaned up, and you'll be good to go. But for me, I'm gonna gut this thing, pull that valve out, bypass it, because I'm gonna be running a 2-wire solenoid type IAC that you can actually buy new. This is, I believe, off like a 3.8 liter Ford, which is pretty cool. They're still available. Maybe in the future they will be non-existent, but I doubt it. Tuning it is a lot easier than this 3-wire setup. Alright, so instead of running these coolant lines from these two ports to the throttle body, they're no longer needed. So just ran them together right there, and we got the IAC all gutted out, so now it's just a big vacuum source. To this guy. Now I did fail to think about needing a check valve for this, kind of like a brake booster. It's just a one-way valve, because this will pull vacuum, but it will not hold pressure, if that makes sense. So under boost, this would be a fat leak. So we are going to be putting a check valve in line, and we'll be good to go.